Hi, Eric Lanask here at ITEXPO in the Rio in Las Vegas. On the program this morning from Xorocm is Ruth Bridger. Ruth, great to see you again. Thank you.
Great to be here. Nice to see you again, too.
So maybe first and foremost, congratulations. Xorocm celebrating 10 years. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a pretty big milestone for us. Been in business for 10 years now and growing year to year. And one thing that I can point out is that coming to these shows, we just leverage it always to hold an international training for our dealers. And so prior to the ITEXPO, the first 3 days of this week, we've held on-site training, and it's been excellent. It's an excellent draw, and we like to co-sponsor the expo.
Ruth, you guys have been with us in several locations with ITEXPO. How's your Vegas experience been?
Well, to tell you the truth, Eric, throughout the years, we always noticed that the ITEXPO West was a more modest show. It drew slightly less than the ITEXPO East. Typically, we took a smaller booth. But I noticed last year when the conference and expo moved to Vegas that it was attracting international audience. So I applaud the decision to move to Vegas, and we took advantage of that this year, and we've increased our presence here. So kudos whoever came up with the idea to hold it here.
So 10 years, obviously that helps. There's something driving that business. What's been driving your success?
Well, Xorocm is a manufacturer of IP PBX solutions, all based on Asterisk, which is an open source platform. Our business model is that we don't sell direct, we sell through a professional international channel of distributors and resellers. And we have, in the last few years, gone ahead and made a completely bundled solution of our designed hardware for IP PBX, and we've coupled it with our own distro, which we call Complete PBX. And as a matter of fact, here at the show, we're launching version 4.5 of that distro. And so just to be able to provide that complete environment for our partners, it gives them an opportunity to bring to their own local markets a fully end-to-end solution based on an open source platform. So that's the Complete PBX.
Now, you mentioned version 4.5. What's new?
Well, specifically, we're always trying to increase the security. You know that whenever you're talking about IP PBX, there is the worry, the danger of getting hacked. And so we make these systems as secure as we possibly can. So one of the things that we did was we built in a firewall into the PBX itself. Another new component in 4.5 is the fact that we've opened up our endpoint manager. That's the module in which you can define all of the endpoints in the system, typically IP phones, to be completely open source, which means that, well, as you know, there are hundreds of different models and manufacturers out there, and it's really impossible to keep pace with every new phone that comes to market. So by making this an open source module, we allow our partners to create their own templates for any phone that their customer wants to use or they want to promote in the framework of the module. They can look it up. If it's not amongst our predefined templates, then they can send in a request and we'll do the interoperability testing and we'll add it. So it's going to be a continuously growing and supported system for all the endpoints that come to market.
So I'm sure you've seen and read some of the same reports that we have, talking about the growth of toll fraud. So great to hear that Xorocm is taking that seriously. Is there any fear in the market that open source is less secure than proprietary?
There definitely is that fear, and we really try to address that fear on a number of different levels. We use the fail to ban mechanism, but one thing that is special to the Complete PBX is the fact that we lock everything down before we send it to the customer. So unlike other open source systems where everything is open and then you configure it and then shut it down, in order to activate the system, you actually have to create the user IDs and passwords for the system. What can I say? I mean, you know, as human beings, we are inherently lazy, and if we get something and it's kind of ready-made, then, you know, we may not make that effort to lock down things. So this was actually a request that came in from some of our partners abroad saying, look, even though it's going to take an extra step for our dealers during the implementation process, if you lock everything down, then we know we're doing the right thing by our customers by making it as hack-proof as possible.
So the other side to the IP communications picture, if you will, is aside from voice, is video. Also, a lot of interest around video and video communications, video conferencing. What are you doing? How are you addressing that?
Yeah, well, we recently announced our alliance with a company called Surf Communication Solutions, whose specialty is media processing. And so we co-deliver an MCU, a media processing platform, which enables multi-point conferencing over Asterisk. So it's a standalone unit that integrates with an Asterisk PBX, such as the Xorocm IP PBX. And the great thing about this solution, which we call the Orion, is that it is endpoint agnostic. Any endpoint, whether it be smartphone, tablet, IP phone, room system that supports SIP or H.323 protocol can be incorporated into the system. So it's very friendly to small and medium-sized businesses because it brings the price point down very low if you don't have to have proprietary endpoints on the system. So it leaves it open, and still you get the great quality offered by the Surf media processing platform, where all the transcoding, transrating, media processing is done within the unit. So every user, no matter with which endpoint they are connecting to the system, gets the optimum visual and audio experience based on their device.
And I think in addition to the cost of entry point that you made, it also, you know, very importantly addresses the BYOD trend that we're seeing in the market today, and allows you, me, and anybody else, regardless of what endpoint we want to participate on, to do that.
You hit the nail on the head with the BYOD. That's exactly where we're at. You know, you can't always pre-plan your conferences. You know, you want to enable anybody from anywhere to connect. Now, there are some conferences where they're established, this is our weekly meeting, and you know which endpoints are going to, you know, connect. But having that freedom really opens up a wide range of possibilities, from, you know, sales meetings to training to customer support. I mean, that's a big one. Can you imagine that you're on site at a customer, you know, like your customer calls in with some kind of issue, and you don't want to have to travel out there to kind of troubleshoot it. Well, having the option of having them hook into the video conferencing solution and kind of just giving you, through their smartphone, a glimpse of what's going on in their, you know, in their system. It's very simple. The customer doesn't need any technical know-how in order to get that information to you. And I don't know about you, but I'm a very visual person, and when I see something, it's so much easier to understand what's going on. And that's what the video conferencing is all about.
Excellent. Ruth, thank you so much for being on the program, as always.
Well, thank you for inviting me.